Welcome to Brilliantly British. Well, my name is Lawrence and today we have another special dessert for you. I'm talking about this modern sticky toffee pudding, which today we're going to show you how to make. So please sit back, relax with a cup of tea in hand, putting those feet up too, and enjoy this episode. And don't forget to subscribe. Previously on the channel, we shared our recipe for the original classic and obviously stunning sticky toffee pudding, which I initially thought would be very hard to beat or match, until today. This, my dear viewers, is the modern iteration of a stunning English dessert, doing away with the subtle apricots for sweet, creamy dates, complemented by spoonfuls of dark instead of light muscovado sugar for a deeper flavour in contrast to the subtler original. In this episode, we'll be sharing our recipe for this steamed pudding with you, following all of that with a session of tasting at the end. So now, with your interest peaking, allow me to introduce the ingredients to you. For today's Brilliantly British modern sticky toffee pudding, you will need some granulated sugar, some black treacle, and some butter, both of which, the butter and the black treacle, you can make yourselves at home by following the link up there. You will also be needing some heavy whipping cream, some lovely medjool dates, some dark muscovado sugar, an egg, some ground cloves, some good quality strong ground ginger. You'll also be needing some self-raising flour and a little pinch or two of salt to avoid the occurrence of bland food. That's it for the making of today's Brilliantly British modern sticky toffee pudding. But, before you do anything at all, I say switch on your kettle to brew yourself a nice cup of hot tea so that you can sip on that whilst you cook. To start making this modern iteration of sticky toffee pudding, begin by dicing your dates before soaking in a specified volume of water, setting to one side for just a moment afterwards. Then, after rehydrating, begin to gently melt butter with dark muscovado sugar, black treacle, an essential sprinkle of salt, and a dash of heavy cream before stirring constantly over a medium heat until all contents have dissolved, with a dark, glossy sauce having formed just before beginning to boil. After placing the toffee sauce to one side, into a suitably sized bowl, turn in your diced room temperature butter and muscovado sugar, which should at first be somewhat combined by hand, continuing on by blending your now soaked dates with the water until smooth, adding the date puree to your bowl, followed by a short stint of stirring before incorporating an egg. After having placed the bowl to one side for just a moment, to your flour, add ground cloves, ground ginger, and a pinch of salt. Stir well, then incrementally combine with your wet elements by sifting to remove lumps. Once fully combined and free of lumps, follow on by liberally greasing and sugar-coating your pudding mould with butter and white sugar respectively. Then, without wasting time, pour in your pudding batter, followed by a short session of cleaning and some gentle taps to remove pockets of air. You'll then want to liberally butter a foil-backed sheet of grease-proof paper, pleat length and widthways to allow the pudding to expand as it steams. Cover the pudding basin, prepare a lasso of string which is carried out by knotting twice, before using the lasso to begin securing the paper and foil. Due to the contoured nature of my basin, several turns of twine had to be made, as in most cases with simple pudding basin bowls, a few simple turns around the rim usually suffice. Anyway, after having secured the foil and paper, I then slung together a handle, making it safer and easier to remove the pudding when hot and ready. To cook the pudding, into a deep, suitably sized lidded pot containing water on a constant, gentle, rolling boil, I first dropped in a makeshift foil stand for my pudding basin to prevent it from touching the bottom and burning, then gently lowered the pudding basin in, ensuring that it was balanced and securely seated, and that the water level hovered around the bowl's midriff before covering and relaxing with a cup of tea and some Brilliantly British content, making sure, of course, to like and subscribe. Thank you. Whilst cooking, ensure that the water is monitored and, when necessary, topped up, but before long, 90 minutes to be exact, after patiently waiting, carefully remove your now cooked pudding, and crucially, after allowing it to rest for 15 to 20 minutes, unwrap, followed by a bit of encouragement, turn over to unveil your toffee pudding before unleashing a deluge of sticky toffee sauce to complete your achievement. So now, with this pudding made and your appetites stoked, I think it's time for tasting. All right, I'm just going to cut myself a lovely slice from this steamed pudding. Are you ready? Are you steady? 3, 2, 1. Oh, like silk. A word of warning, sticky toffee puddings are made for those very serious, committed people who have a very, very sweet tooth indeed. And I, for sure, am one of them. Aside from the sweetness of this, there is depth in there coming from the dark muscovado sugar. My favorite sugar, arguably my favorite ingredient of all time. It's just deep, so deep and so flavoursome. And then you've got the ginger, the clove coming through, adding lovely elements to this pudding. And then the actual texture of the pudding itself, I think you saw the way I cut through it. It's just like butter. It goes down like butter. When it touches, comes in contact with your palate, it just melts in the mouth. And for those of you, I recommend having a few dollops of clotted cream to help counteract the sweetness, and you will have on your plate, in your hand, a lovely balanced treat. This is fantastic. This is brilliant. This is Brilliantly British, for that is what we do on this channel. And so with all that being said, please go out, get the ingredients, because it is definitely worth it, and make this pudding, please. Thank you all for allowing me to show you how to make a modern sticky toffee pudding from scratch. Knowing that you loved this episode, don't forget to click on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button so that you don't miss any of our new releases. Tell everyone you know, and I mean everyone that you know, about the Brilliantly British food on this channel, and follow us on all of the social media platforms that this channel is on, and I will see you next time.